Have you ever waited years just to get the perfect revenge? 7 years ago, I finally bought my own home. I'd saved for a decade, worked long hours, and when I held those keys in my hand, it felt like every sacrifice had been worth it. Being single meant I had to be careful with money, so I looked for something affordable. That led me to a property on a shared block. Normally, that means a strata title, communal funds, collective insurance, and a bunch of bylaws telling you what you can and can't do. Not exactly my idea of freedom. But this place? It was advertised as freehold title. No meddling committee, no petty rules, just one shared responsibility, splitting the cost of public liability insurance for the walkway. Perfect for someone like me who valued privacy. The real estate agent was a local guy. We didn't know each other personally, but he was friends with friends, so it all felt safe. 5 months after moving in, I got a knock at the door from the landlord next door. He wanted to talk about the insurance. No problem, until he sent me a copy of the policy. My stomach sank. It wasn't public liability insurance at all. It was strata insurance, which meant my property wasn't freehold. It was the one thing I'd wanted to avoid. I called my lawyer. He was stunned. He'd been told by the agent it was freehold. I went through every ad, every email between the agent and my lawyer, black and white proof. Still, when I confronted the agent, he flat out refused to admit fault. No apology. No offer to make it right. Just denial. We ended up in mediation. I wasn't unreasonable. I didn't want a huge payout. I simply asked that when I eventually sold the place, he'd cover the selling costs. That was it. He refused. Offered me $1,000 to walk away. I said no. I could have taken legal action. Mediation even advised it. But my health wasn't great then. I let it go. On the surface. Underneath, I started planning. I found his personal Facebook page, completely public. There were pictures from a boys on tour trip he'd taken not long after I bought the property. I also found his home address through a public business search. That's when the idea formed. On the 1-year anniversary of my home purchase, I sent him flowers. The card read, "Dear real estate agent, remembering you on this, our special day. She has your eyes. Love, L." The following year, I sent a bouquet with a slightly different message, but still with "our special day" and a cryptic reference to a child. Sometimes I swapped flowers for postcards, sometimes letters, all postmarked from the same country he'd visited on that boys' trip. Always signed, Love, L. I did this every single year, for 6 years. From the outside, it was harmless, a bit odd, maybe even funny. But behind the scenes, it was a small, persistent thorn. 3 weeks ago, I heard the outcome through mutual acquaintances. He'd recently divorced, lost his house, and wasn't working as a real estate agent anymore. His wife had finally connected the dots, the gifts, the flowers, the dates. She confronted him, and he admitted to cheating. Here's the twist I didn't see coming. A year before I even bought my house, he'd gone on a trip, come back with an STD, and given it to his wife. Somehow, he'd convinced her it wasn't him. But the special day I kept reminding him of lined up perfectly with when he'd been unfaithful. So, in her mind, those annual gifts weren't random. They were proof. And with that, his marriage, business, and finances all crumbled. I'll admit, this level of destruction wasn't my plan. I only wanted him to feel a little heat. But sometimes, karma just needs a push in the right direction. And I'm very, very patient.